Hey everybody, it is Matthew of Mr. Domestic, where I spread joy and positivity through sewing and fabric play. In this video, I am going to show you how to make a see-through project pouch. I made it quilted. You can make it quilted or not quilted. You can use other substrates. It's easy peasy. Just get yourself some vinyl, follow these instructions, and you have got yourself an easy way to see what's going on with your work in progresses. Work in progresses? Works in progress? Works in progress. So if you want to learn how to make this easy peasy 20-minute project pouch, then this is the tutorial for you. But before we get into the content, anytime you're enjoying it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Now let's get ready to have some fun together. For these project pouches, this is all that you need. And before I get into it, just to be 100% transparent, just so y'all know, this tutorial is sponsored by Brother, since that's who I use. And there is a step out tutorial on their website that will be in the description here. So if you want like a slowed down version of this or to see all of the supplies, and make sure to head over there. But for this, you need a quilted panel. It's double-sided quilted. And this panel is, just so you know, a little bit under 18. So let's just say 18 by 10, and I did it 18 so that it's fat quarter friendly. So if you have 2 fat quarters, you can use this. And then you need a zipper that is at a minimum 8 inches in length. This one, as you can see, goes over. I generally like to work with zippers that are bigger, and I like this one. It's super cute. And then you need a 10 by 10 piece of vinyl. I forgot the gauge, but I'll put it right here. I got the thinnest as possible. And then let's get started. Put this away, because you don't need it for now. Put this away, and I'm just going to make 2 cuts from this quilted panel. The first cut is going to be 1.5 inches. There we go. And then the second cut is going to be the width of the ruler. Not the ruler, what is this called? A zipper. The width of the zipper. So you don't have to use this kind of a zipper. I just thought this matched well. Like, look, match, match. So whatever this width is, and this happens to be 1 inch. Let's just do 1.25 inches. There we go. So those are the only things that you need for now. Okay, so for this first part, what I'm going to do is add the zipper tabs here. And zipper tabs, like, they go like this with this. So there's definitely going to be excess here. I just cut this in half, and then I'm going to measure this about 8 inches and then mark it. So find where 8 inches is, then mark it. So I'll just mark it here. And then I'll do it here. So as you can see, there's a lot of excess. And if you estimate this, it's totally fine, not a big deal. But then I'm going to take this and just place it here. I'll go ahead and clip it on both sides just because. And I'm going to do the same thing to both sides of it, but I'm going to show you one. Let me make sure I'm getting it. Yeah, this goes like this. And so then, just so you can see up close, that line right here is going to become my stitch line, or an estimated stitch line. I'm going to stitch that over on Alfonso, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm going to do both of the tabs in real time just so that you can see it. And honestly, I'm just going to take these clips off because I don't need it. I have a regular needle here. I have my regular foot here, and it's a regular stitch length. Let me just estimate where this is. Right here. And I'm just going to go over this. And then one thing when doing metal zippers, if you've never done a metal zipper and you've never done zippers, don't do metal. But if you're wanting to do it, I will hand crank it as it goes into the metal, and then like move it around slightly like that. So I got it in there, and then it just continued through. And then, since it's a super duper important seam, I'm going to go over it again. See, that's what it will do if you don't hand crank it. That was totally for learning. That's why I did it. Boom. But just make sure you go slow. If you're going speedy, then you're gonna break the needle. Cut. Okay, and then, see? Ooh, pretty. And then I'm going to go ahead and top stitch it in place. And the same thing, make sure to crank it. And it's like at 1/8 of an inch. Just go super slow. If there's any resistance, see, it did it again. So that, I actually did do it on purpose there, just to show you the difference. It will go through. If you hand crank it, essentially the needle is like finding its way in between the teeth. But the machine has a safety fit feature, and most of them do, that will stop if there's any resistance. Okay. So now, where is it? See? Right there. And then I'm going to trim this excess with my scissors. And then I'm going to get some regular scissors to trim this excess right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. The only difference is here, you want to make sure that it matches up whenever you attach this and get it beyond the line. So I did say I would show you this in real time. Let me do one more right here, see? And then here, I'm going to clip right here, and then sew. And that's it for now, and I will see you on the next step. So this is what it looks like this. The tabs are way too long. And then this, I trimmed the excess zipper with like paper scissors that are okay to get janky. Definitely don't use fabric scissors on that. Now I'm going to attach it to the bottom part. Just find the center, or estimate the center right here. And I'm going to clip it in a couple places. If you watched my easy zipper pouch, I used Wonder Tape. This one I'm not using Wonder Tape, just to show y'all the difference. So that's all I did. It's clipped. And then now with this, I'm going to stitch it at 1/4 of an inch. If you're using a different zipper, let's go ahead and do it zipper side. If you're using a different zipper that happens to be narrower, then you can adjust it accordingly. But for this one, I know 1/4 of an inch is good. Let me open the zipper. Okay, so now I am just going to sew here at 1/4 inch. I'm not even using a zipper foot, I'm using a regular foot. And then I'll go ahead and remove this clip. And I'm going to show you how I maneuver around this. I lift the foot, and then this. Someone told me to add some string here and then pull it through the string. I don't have that. I mean, I have string, but like not right here. So I just like lift this and then pull it behind like that, and then lower the foot, and then I'll continue sewing. And with most zippers and zipper pulls, you should be able to do that in order to get it through. So, cut this. Now I'm going to, okay, so now that this is done, I'm going to fold this over and get it right here. And I'm going to top stitch, edge stitch that down at 1/8 of an inch. And this zipper pull is going to get in the way, but it should be able to go through really easily. Once again, if you've never sewn with a zipper, I would suggest a universal zipper. They're easier to sew through, but this one's gonna make it look fancy. So this is the bottom part. Next, we have this, and we're going to attach it to this right here. So let me show you. See right here. I'm going to line up this bottom part with that like this. See? And then I can go ahead and clip it just in one spot so it doesn't move or shift. It's all thick enough to where it's not going to move around too much, which is why I don't feel like I need to use Wonder Tape for this too much. And then you're going to do the same exact thing you did on the other side. Here. And I'll fast forward through this so that you can still watch it, but not in real time. Okay, so now we are to the vinyl part. So if you've conquered the zipper and that was your first time, way to go. Now it's time to conquer the vinyl. One thing to know about vinyl, never, ever, ever pin it. Always clip it. So once again, I'm going to clip it in a couple spots right here just to keep it in place. And as long as you do that, it won't slip around. And it's fine. And then a second thing, where's the camera? There it is. A second thing is these 2 feet work wonders. With vinyl, pleather, leather, anything that's tacky or sticky. This one is called a Teflon foot. Can you see it? Where's the light? Where's the light? A Teflon foot. And then this one is a roller foot. I'm going to use the roller foot, but both of these allow something that's tacky on the top to go through and it won't get stuck to the foot. And then I don't need it because there's nothing on the bottom that's going to be sticky when I sew it. But if there's ever a time whenever you have vinyl on the bottom, this is just an extra tip. You can put like paper underneath so that it doesn't stick and it'll just go through and then tear it off when you're done. But for now, it's going to be the same process. And I'm going to do it first with this foot just to show you how it can stick. Oh, see, already it won't go through. It's stuck on here. So this is a hidden seam, so it's totally fine. And you can do it without a special foot. It's just a little bit harder. But also, optionally, you can put paper on the top. There's a workaround for all of it. You just want something on the top where it won't get sticky. But make sure that this is correct, because once you poke those holes in vinyl or anything like this, then those holes are there forever. It's not like fabric. So now here I have my roller foot on. And it is just going to glide through with the feed dogs. See? It's just rolling, 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 rolling on a river. Don't do your day job out there. Okay, so it's going all the way on. Boop. And then, same thing. You are going to top stitch this down. And this is where it might get sticky on the bottom. Let me see, where's some paper so I can show you that. Okay, here's a little piece of paper that I have. I'm just going to put it underneath like this. And then it won't stick to the thing. It's pretty neat. And then you can just tear it off whenever you're done. So now I'm going to estimate 1/8 of an inch. Once again, top stitching. Ooh, it's just going across like butter with that paper and that foot. This is a winning combination. See, it's just gliding. And I'm going to run out of paper here, so hopefully you'll be able to see what happens when there's no paper. Oh yeah, it's a little bit tackier, but it's still going through. It's fine. Because it's the feed dogs underneath, and the feed dogs are doing their job. Okay, so see? No, I just tear it off. Tear it off. And then it is top stitched. And then now, I'm gonna do the other side. This right here. Clip it in a couple places. Like this. And then sew, once again, 1/4 of an inch all the way across. This. Boom, boom, boom. And so now it's a tube, right? But you still need to top stitch this. And this is when it gets fun. It's gonna be super duper fun because you gotta push things around. Like here, I turned it right side out. Oh, this is gonna be so pretty. And then to top stitch, you're going to be pushing things because essentially this is going to go in the center of the tube, and so you're going to have to handle it. And I'm not going to use paper on the bottom so that maybe you can see what the difference is. Yeah, so it's already sticking, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just using my hands to help pull it through. So if it sticks again, I'm going to pull it. Oh, forget that. I'm getting me some paper. So now I've gotten some paper. I'm glad it showed you that because it will stick like this. Definitely use paper. Oh my gosh, see the difference? See, this is why I leave mistakes in my videos, folks, because there's some learning with mistakes. And then hopefully you're able to capture this. And then I just flatten it as I'm going because it's naturally going to want to crinkle. Like this. And it's much easier to move the fabric than it is the vinyl. Like this. See it? Try to squish it down so you can see what I'm doing. And honestly, if this step looks a little daunting for you, like if this is one of your first sewing projects or first time working with vinyl, you can skip this top stitch and it'll still look cute. Okay. Get it on the other side. And then, see the top stitch? And then you just rip off the paper that's on the back. Ta-da! Let me just look at this top stitch. Oh, this is going to be foxy. But then I'm turning it inside out again. Over here, I wanted a flat surface so that you can see what I do here. The biggest thing is for there to be enough room on the top to where it still looks cute. And you can feel this out. Try and make this even with that, just for aesthetic purposes, but really there's no wrong or right way to do this part. And then clip it here. And then you're gonna wanna make sure this is flat and then clip it on the bottom. And if you wanted to, since there's no vinyl here or here, you can iron it. I'm not going to iron it till the end, but that's an option if you want this just to lay super duper flat. So now I'm going to take this back over to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch this 2 different ways and I'll meet you there. So I still have my Teflon roller foot, and I'm going to do this again at 1/4 inch and get the rest of this paper off here. Unclip it, lift this, and then just stitch. Since the vinyl's on the top, I don't need anything underneath. It's going to be fine. Just make sure it's all flat as it goes right here. Unclip it. And I am using a universal needle, and it's getting through all of these layers. If you just want to make sure, you can use like a denim needle, and it will 100% go through. There's no zipper because I trimmed it here, so you don't have to worry about that. Then I am going to backstitch here. And I said I was stitching this 2 ways because with this is now going to be on the inside when I flip it right side out, but I want it to look a little prettier because it's going to be exposed. So I'm going over to a zigzag. Let me make it a little bit wider. 5 millimeters wide. The length is totally fine for me. And then, see how it's over here? Just follow along the edge. And this will just give it a little bit of extra zhuzh on the inside. For that exposed seam. See? I'll get to the end and show you. And this is also an optional. If you're just looking for function and you don't really care whether it's a 10 out of 10, then you can skip this part. Let me just show you. See? That's just gonna look cuter on the inside. And then all these stragglies, like I go ahead and pull these just to make sure that the fraying is done. And then I will snip those and call it a day. And then you're gonna do the same exact thing to the other side. And just because, you know what? I'm feeling super generous. I'm going to do it in fast forward so that you can see it. And just like that, the stitching is fine. And one thing, I don't think I told you to do this, but whenever you're stitching these clothes, make sure to open the zipper. Otherwise, you're gonna be like, I don't know how to open it. And it's so hard to move it from the outside or the back of this, so just make sure to do that. And then now I'm just going to flip it right side out. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. And if the vinyl gets crinkly, don't worry. Over time, it's going to go back to crisposity. You could always just lay like a heavy book on top of it. Don't iron it, because it will melt and get on the iron. So this is this. I need something, hello, to poke the corners out. Just using a pencil. If you don't have a fancy tool, poke the corners out. Oh, oh, oh. Right here, one more corner. On the top. One more corner right here. I know it's really exciting watching me poke out the corners. And I'll make them more crisp once I find my corner pointy thingy. And then zip it up. And then like this, look, boom, boom, you are done. That is a pouch. It's amazing. I'm so excited. And now you all can make it yourself. Yay! Yay! Now you can make this. Hopefully, for those of you who are a little intimidated by working with vinyl, I've given you some really good tips and tricks to where you feel comfortable now and can make this. As you may or may not know if you've been on my channel for a minute, I have been all about organizing. I even did the shelves behind me, my whole room, that it got me wanting to be able to see what my projects were that I had to work on. And this was a perfect solution. So I hope that you all found it to be also. And if you enjoyed this, got a laugh or a tip or a trick, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Keep it positive, y'all. Mr. Domestic out.